Hi, how you doing? My name is Joshua Emerson. Um, I'm a Navajo man living here in Denver. I uh, I do stand-up comedy, and sometimes I do a little bit of storytelling. And I wanted to share a couple stories based on this project with you. Just a little bit about me. I have a white dad. I have a Navajo mom, and they got divorced when I was really young. And I grew up in the city in Phoenix, Arizona, and my mom made her way back to the res in Vanderwagen, New Mexico. And I would travel. They had joint custody, so I traveled between the two places. And wherever I was, I always felt like an outsider because when I went to the res, the thing that people noticed most about me is that I had a white dad. And when I came back to the city, the thing that seemed to interest people the most was that I was Navajo. And it never really made me feel comfortable. I always felt out of place wherever I was, which was interesting. But it's also taught me how to sort of weaponize code switching, which I think has worked out in my favor. I'm not ashamed of being an urban native. It was my choice because I come from good stock. I mean, my grandmother was in an arranged marriage when she was 14, right? She had a kid when she was 15, and then the guy died, and she was a widow when she was 16 with a 1-year-old, you know? And then she met my grandfather when she was 18, working at a laundromat in Gallup, New Mexico, and then they went on to have 8 more kids, one of which was my mom. And she was second to last in terms of the kids, and so she was pretty anxious to get off the res. She joined the United States Marine Corps and went all the way out to the East Coast. And so she went from this reservation life to this urban setting, you know, not just like East Coast urban as well. And she loved it. She fell in love with a white guy named William. They got married, had a couple kids, and then they got divorced, and she went back to the res. But she still always loved the city. It's interesting too. My grandfather, I always remember him. He spoke 5 languages: Navajo, English, Spanish, Apache, and Zuni. He was a track supervisor for the Santa Fe Railroad. He was based out of Gallup, but he moved all over along the track. And yeah, he always used to speak to me in Spanish. You know, pass the mantequilla, and it would work. I'd pass him the butter. when I think about the project, when you look at these artists and the way they depict the West as something to be conquered, that it feels very worrisome to me. That the idea that there's no intentionality before Europeans came to the West is wrong. There's a lot that comes from the tradition still to this day that makes a lot of sense, you know, in terms of like honoring Ket and honoring, trying to bring things into balance, and so it's frustrating that the narrative continues to be told by outsiders about what the West is. And I felt it more here since moving to Denver than I have in other cities in the West. Just the sense of a successful colonialism early on. That Denver was able to figure out how to tame the West quicker than other cities out here, and you just see this legacy of you look at these bumper stickers of, you know, Colorado native, that and not any sense of tone deafness, especially when you have something like the Sand Creek Massacre happen in this state. And I mean, that's a governor of Colorado, and that's the Colorado militia, you know, performing war crimes against the indigenous residents here in Colorado. You know, and it wasn't during wartime. It violated peace treaties, and so like that history has to be honored. Not to develop more white guilt, or just so that we understand where we came from, so that we don't repeat those type of mistakes going forward. That you have to honor the people that died unfairly. That's a part of Colorado. So that's my contribution to the conversation. I hope it had added something to value. Thank you.